Amway knows what BWW is doing.
Wow.
Amway knows what Worldwide is doing. Amway knows that these people are sick, psychopathic, narcissistic, crazy ass people that are ruining people's lives, taking their money, ruining people's reputations and their self-image and their self-esteem. Like, they know that. And they are just hush hush. As long as those leaders are bringing in money, as long as they're buying the products, and as long as they're saying a good name, they're going to protect them. So
Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal, and on this channel I talk about my experience while I was in Amway through the AMO called LTD. I was in there for almost 2 years, and I just share my experience and kind of a warning to those who might be interested in getting into it themselves. Today, this is part 2 of my interview with Michelle Garabito. If you haven't seen part 1, please check that out, where she shares her journey to Q12 Ruby while she was in Brit Worldwide, and she talks about everything she goes through, like everything that she goes through. So stay tuned for part 2, and I'll come back afterwards with more information on next videos.
Girl, yeah.
I'm speechless. I can't even.
Yeah, these are just like big things that are just like not okay. They are not okay. Matchmaking people and making people get married in their early 20s, that don't fly.
Yeah,
like
that's not okay.
I'm gonna be 31 next month, and Paul and we talk about marriage and it's awesome, but we are in no rush. And we always talk about, imagine if we would have gotten married when we were like 22, because Elmo and Jackie got married when they were 21, and everybody followed Jesus, right? They did everything that they did. And so all these 20-year-olds are getting married, and it was like a nightmare. So that was not okay. Being homophobic and not, appreciating human beings for who they want to love was not okay either. And the third big thing that I also want to talk about that happened a lot, and I've had women open up to me about it, is women getting pregnant without being married. And people, the mentorship, telling them that they have to abort because it would not look good. It would not look good on stage. It would not look good when you get recognized. It would not look good when you come to meetings and you're pregnant and everybody knows that you're single, though. You're pregnant, but you're single?
So you don't like gay people, but you're
Right.
encouraging abortion? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
It's just a mess. And this is the dark side of MLM that people don't want to talk about, but I'm going to raise awareness.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about this because a lot of people wonder why there's not a lot of. There was a girl and she wasn't on my team, but we got really close. She left the business as well. When she got pregnant, she wasn't married, she wasn't engaged. She was promoted as a single female woman building the business, right? So when she got pregnant, she opened up to Jackie and Elmo about her pregnancy, and they told her, oh, you should take a break. You should not come to the meetings anymore. You should just go have your baby. And when you have your baby, just call us. And, if you're ready to come back, you're ready to come back. But after she left, she realized that they didn't want her to be around pregnant as a single woman to make them look bad. Like, oh, you have someone on your team that's pregnant? Like, and she's single? Like, what's going on? And there was another girl that also single, got pregnant. They gathered all the platinum ladies and was like, so and so is pregnant. Everybody's like, and she's single, but she's pregnant. And they were like, yeah, so we basically have to treat her differently. So this poor girl would come to the meetings and people would just stare at her. And God knows, I think she's still in the business, which is kind of crazy, but they just treated her so differently because she was a single person pregnant. And so many women were just, encouraged that if you were not married and you're pregnant, you're not allowed to come to meetings. You're not allowed to do anything. You are only allowed to have children when you go diamond, which is why Jackie and Elmo, they went diamond. Next year, they were pregnant.
Wow.
And a couple years later, they had another baby. And that was the rules. These were like crazy rules that you were supposed to follow. And like, if you were having sex without being married, shunned. That's the reason why you're not growing in the business. That's why God is not going to bless you. Like all this. And I remember, of course, I'm single and, you know, I'm messing around doing what young girls do. And I don't know how homeboy found out that I was messing around. And he was like, that's why you're not growing in the business. You having sex without being married. That's why you're not growing in the business. And that's why years later with my relationship with Paul, I had to go celibate first off, because I was encouraged to go celibate, but then it was also my decision because they turned sex into this nasty event. And so every time I would think of sex, I would think of nastiness and feeling guilty and shameful. And then when I went celibate was to unlearn everything that they told me sex was about. And so I just literally removed all that to the point where I had to learn what healthy sex looked like. Even though I'm not married, it's my choice. I can do whatever I want with this body, you know? So it was just a lot of craziness, that a lot of behind the scenes, that this is the stuff that people don't talk about, you know? So.
But how did it all end? I mean, like after all
Yeah.
of this, like how did you walk away? How did you
It's my favorite part. Freedom. So obviously all that was happening, but also in the back end, I was working out, you know, and I was going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I was finally redeeming myself, and I found myself again. And it was one meeting where Jackie went on stage and was like, you do know that you guys don't need to have what me and Elmo have. You don't need to have the lifestyle that me and Elmo have. And for some reason, 8 years later, it clicked. And I was like, you are right. I do not want the life that y'all have. Y'all have a boring ass life, because they're over here promoting that they're diamond. They have not gone on a trip if it wasn't sponsored by Amway. They live in this rinky dinky house. By that time, I had already moved out of my mom's house, and me and my best friend live in a beautiful luxury condo overlooking the New York City skyline. We were paying the same rent as these diamonds, right? The most that they had was like luxury cars, red bottoms, Louis Vuitton bags, or whatever. But they never traveled anywhere. They never looked happy. They never did exciting things. And in my mind, when I think of diamond lifestyle, which is what I spent 10 years fighting to get to, I thought about traveling and philanthropy and helping other people and traveling to third world countries and doing, you know, this is what I'm envisioning. And none of these was doing it. They were going to the meetings every single week. Homegirl was pregnant, going to the meetings, flying to do business building seminars. When I'm pregnant, I'm going to be living in my land, nobody's going to know where I'm at in the ocean, like,
yeah.
right? Not going to meetings.
Right.
So for some reason it clicked 8 years later when she said that at the meeting. I don't know why she said that, because for a long time they were like, you want to have what we have, you know, look at our life. This is what you want. She said that. I was like, girl, you right. So I just started to think about like, what is it that I want? And I realized like nothing in this business would give me anything that I want. And so I was really searching for help, because for some people that just get started, it's easy for you to leave. But I was a big pin at this point. I had hundreds and hundreds of people on my team. I had a meeting that I was running. I was really responsible for a lot of people's dreams and goals, you know, and I was helping them. And so it came to a point, it was 2019, where I started to notice a lot of red flags. Not only those red flags that I talked about, but I started to notice red flags. I lost 80 pounds in my fitness journey, and I was shunned by people. I was shunned by Elmo's wife, because obviously I started to look better than her. And I knew it. She gave me all the eye rolls up and down, looked me up and down. Her husband started to be like, oh, you look good, I guess. Or, oh, you know you look good. I don't need to tell you. But everybody around me, I'm like, oh my gosh, have you seen Michelle? She looks so good, whatever. And so I started to get recognition from the work that I was actually doing, and they hated it so much. And so I just felt so much weird energy that it just like, at this point, I started to wake up. Like when Elmo used to call me, I used to get shivers. Like I would shiver up. And my heart would sink when I would see his name. If I would go out on a bike ride with people on my team, I would get a phone call immediately. And I'm like, how the hell do they know that I'm doing this? So now I find out later on that Elmo has people spying on me, on what the I'm doing with my life. Okay. I would have people on my team text me like, "Oh, Michelle, where are you?" I'll be like at the gym. They're like, "Oh, can I meet you there?" Randomly. So, okay, so my exit basically came when I started to notice a lot of red flags from my sponsors, Jackie and Elmo, and it just became really weird. Like, again, no, like they wouldn't even ever tell me like, "Wow, I'm so proud of you for losing weight. Like, you look so amazing." No, I would hear it from like other people in my team. And so people would talk and then it'll get back to them and they would just be super pissed. And like I would always get like his wife would always look me up and down, like she would just be so rude. And I was just at a place where I finally felt happy about myself. Like I started buying different clothes and I would just get so much negativity and so much hate. So obviously I started doing my own thing. Like I was already doing the process. So I was meeting people to put them through a process differently. And so now I started getting like followed, and people in my team, I guess they have some type of like some type of like commitment or something, or like I don't know, but they had an agreement or something with Elmo that, hey, if you find this out about Michelle, like I'll give you something. I don't know, that's what I think. Nothing is confirmed, but this is just, it was just too much. Got to a point I would ride bikes with my roommate at the time, and then someone else on my team, we bump into them, and so they join us in riding bikes. I post a photo of me riding a bike. I get a phone call from Elmo yelling at me saying, "Why the fuck are you meeting up with so and so and riding bikes? Y'all not supposed to do that. You're not allowed to talk to people in my team. In my team, mind you, it's my team. Those are the people that I recruited, that I found, that I've helped as well, you know." And I'm like, how the hell does he know? That was red flag number one. Then it was this guy in my team who, he was always kind of weird, and he always was obsessed with Elmo and like was trying to be his best friend for life, which is why I think that they had an agreement with this guy, because he would text me often like, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you? Can I meet up with you so we can like talk about this that?" I'm like, "Sure, I'm on the treadmill at the gym if you want to meet." Here he comes at the treadmill. I would talk to him about something. Next thing you know, I get a phone call from Elmo. "I heard that you did, and like, I'm like,
Not a
how do
snitch.
you know? How do you know this? And then this same guy would always offer to take me home after meetings, and like he would just get really cool with me. So then I would think that it would be okay to open up about the things that I'm noticing. So I'll be like, "Hey, did you notice that this person was rude to, you know, that Elmo was rude to this guy and that this happened and that happened?" Next day, I get a call from Elmo, surely enough, about that same conversation. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where I would get like panic attacks before going to meeting. This never happened. Now we're 9 years in. I would get panic attacks going to meetings. Like me and my best friend, we lived together, so she was the only person that would know about how I was feeling, and so she would also share with me how she was feeling, and we would just like connect on that level. And then I also started to journal my whole journey, and like I would write to God like, "I'm finally got at a place where I really want you to lead me out of here." Like there was no other way that I would have gone out if it wasn't for God leading me out. Like I just surrendered, and I was like, "I need your help." So I'm just writing and journaling, writing and journaling. And then I had a dream one day of my ex-mentor, Ray and Tamara, right? The father figure in my life when I was in business. And mind you, at this point, it's been 7 years since I've talked to him. But every Father's Day, I always felt it in my heart to text him like, "Hey, happy Father's Day, Ray. I hope you and your family are doing well." And he will always respond saying, "Oh my gosh, we miss you so much. The kids miss you," because they had kids that we loved. And then one day I just had a dream with him, and God always talks to me in dreams. Like
Same.
if I have a dream with you, I'm calling you because God told me something, you know, whether it's good or bad. I just be like, "Hey, I had a dream that this happened." I remember when my sister broke up with her boyfriend, nobody knew, but I had a dream that they broke up. And
Wow.
it wasn't until 6 months later that she tells the family, but I had already knew because I had that dream. So, and she was like, "No, we're still together." No, y'all broke up, but it's okay. I'm a witch in my own special way, you know? so, so yeah, so I had this dream with Ray, and it was basically God telling me to reach out. So it was right around the time where Father's Day happened. I sent him a message and I was like, "Hey Ray, I know it's been a long time, but as always, just want to wish you a happy Father's Day. And I also want to ask you if there's any way that you and I can talk." And that was a bold move. I didn't tell anybody about that. God forbid anybody found out that I texted this man that question, that I cannot talk to him, because this was someone that we were banned from talking to. We never knew why, but it was just something that the God said, so we had to do. So he was like, absolutely, like, let's definitely talk. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was really nervous. And then at the time, I was so broke. I was driving for Uber to make extra cash. And one of my passengers, the address was Ray and Tamara's old house that we used to do meetings at. And I was like, oh, if this isn't like a divine sign, like, I don't know what is. A couple days later, I get on the phone with Ray and I'm so excited. Like, I'm in tears because, again, this was a father figure in my life. His wife was a mother figure in my life. And I remember so many times me complaining to him right before he left, and we were banned from talking to him, complaining to him of how terrible of a mentorship Jackie and Elmo were. They were just terrible. And I would literally travel 2 hours to New Jersey to just cry to them and be like, I don't want to be mentored by him anymore. Like, why are we not allowed to mentor you? Like, why are we not allowed to be mentored by you anymore? So we get on the phone, girl, 3-hour conversation of him, finally, after 7 years, opening up to me as to why they left. And it was mainly because Elmo and Jackie made their life a living hell. It got so toxic and so terrible, and they just wanted full control of my team that he mentored, and myself, that it was so bad that they had to leave and they had to go where family was, which was in Tennessee. And they basically like sent them away. Like, they were just like, get the out of here. And so it got even worse that Jackie and Elmo's mentors, they were diamonds in the business. They've been in business 30 years. I mean, lovely couple. I've been to their multi-million-dollar house many, many times. They also made Ray and Tamara's life a living hell as well. And it got to a point where Ray and Tamara had to get mentorship from a completely different team. And they didn't change teams. They were just getting mentorship, and they were going to meetings at a different team. And so in this team that they were getting mentorship from, they learned the process, and life just became much smoother, not being in touch with these people. And so when I opened up to him of how I was feeling and the red flags that I was seeing, and I literally thought that I was crazy because, again, I'm this big pin, this big leader, and everybody is like loving up on this couple and giving them accolades and just like worshiping them. And I'm just like, these people are evil. These people are ruining my self-esteem, my self-image, my life, my finances. I'm like broke. I have no money. I have nothing to show for. I haven't seen my family in years. Like, I'm finally at a place where I feel good about myself, and they don't even like give me credit. Like, they make me feel even worse. And I'm opening up to Ray and Tamara, and they're like, you are not crazy. What you're feeling is real. And after 18 years, we're going to help you get out. And it was Ray and Tamara that helped me get out of Elmo and Jackie's team. And it was a very painful and very dramatic and traumatizing experience leaving at the pin level that I was in. So, you know, Ray and Tamara are a Christian couple, and they're a couple of faith. And so they had me pray over this exit for about 3 days. And I was just praying, and everything in my soul was like, it's time to go. It's time to let this go. And so Ray and Tamara, they were gracious enough to talk to Elmo and Jackie's upline, bigger upline. They were founders, diamonds, like multimillionaires. So they spoke to them and was like, hey, you know, Michelle Garabito reached out to me, and she wants to work with us and the team that we're working in. And they were like, no, absolutely not. She is not allowed to do that. And Ray was like, you do know that I'm her upline and I can mentor her, and she can do whatever she wants to do. She's not changing, you know, LOS. She's not moving her. She's literally gonna skip all y'all because y'all are nasty as hell.
Right.
And she's just gonna, you know, get mentored by me, and she's gonna plug in to a different meeting. She's no longer gonna go to your meetings, whatever. They bugged out. They were like, she hasn't been growing. Don't listen to her. She's dramatic. Like, she hasn't been doing the business. She's just been going to the gym. So she's probably just complaining and blah, blah. And Ray was like, wow, you guys still don't get it.
Wow.
It's so much more than that. And so he was like, well, I'm going to help her. And I just want you to be the one to tell Jackie and Elmo that we should all have a meeting and that we should all have a conversation. So then the next step was for me to talk to Jackie and Elmo's upline, the diamonds, the multimillionaire diamonds. So I spent an hour, literally the timeline that I gave you of all the red flags that I saw and why I wanted to leave and all the mean things that they did and how they like destroyed my self-esteem and my self-image and just like my integrity and like who I am as a woman. Like I literally told her everything for an hour. She did not say a word. And Tamara was on the other line. And all she said was, I'm so sorry you feel that way. And I wish you the very best. And I was like, oh my God. Wow. Well, I was like, I don't care what you guys say. I'm going to work with Ray and Tamara. So it was up to them now to now tell Elmo and Jackie my decision. And the final step was for all of us to have a conversation to finally for me to leave. Girl, once Jackie and Elmo's mentors told Jackie and Elmo that I was going to go work with Ray and Tamara, no longer associate their meetings, no longer be mentored by them and things like that, they declined the meeting of talking to me. They blocked me from all social media platforms. I took myself off some group chats so they didn't have to take me out so people can see that I was the one that made this decision.
Mm-hmm.
I took myself off the social media platforms. Next thing you know, I refresh my social media and everybody from my team unfollows me. I get like 2 text messages from girls in my team like, what's going on? Did you just leave the WhatsApp chats? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay. That's all I get. Oh, okay. You're leaving? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And so they just completely blocked me. And that was the last time, well, second to last time that I heard from them. They just did not want to talk to me. They just completely blacked out. And on June 1st, 2019, I did not go to that meeting with Elmo and Jackie. I was free, part 1. I was free. I no longer had to go to those stupid meetings anymore. I never had to see their face. And now I was working with Ray and Tamara and their team, but their team was in North Carolina, girl. So, you know, once a month we would go to North Carolina, but we were mainly virtual and it was just freedom. And then the last time that I saw Elmo and Jackie, which was a very traumatizing event, it was FED 2019. It was in Maryland. And again, we were free because I was finally working with Ray and Tamara, I was doing things my own way. And we just had to go to that conference. And so we got a nice Airbnb. It was me and my personal legs. So I no longer was associated with like my platinums, like all the people that I have been friends with for almost a decade at the time. I've been to their baby showers. I've been to their engagements. I've been to their weddings. I know their families. Like I've seen them in their hard times and their good times. Like I was completely blacklisted. I was not allowed to speak to them ever again. So I go to this conference and I'm with Ray and my new team and this new environment. It was much better. These were the people, like the upline diamonds that we were with. They were now mentored by Bill Britt. So there was some type of like, you know, peace, you know, because I really believe that when Bill Britt passed away, I was in BWW, everything changed. And like everybody just kind of like messed up BWW for the worst. So I was with that team and it was nice. You know, we were virtual and we were kind of doing our own thing. So it wasn't like I was experiencing what I experienced the past 9 years. But when I finally went to that conference, there was word that I was talking to people in my past team. That was not the case. People saw me at the conference. No one told them what happened. No one told them why I left. So when they saw me, they freaked out. People ran to me. They were so happy to see me. Everybody was so happy. Like we were taking photos. And of course, Elmo and Jackie's little spies run to them and tell them, oh, Michelle is talking to the people on her team. Michelle's taking photos of this. Michelle is telling them that they're with Ray and Tamara now, that they should join her too. I was not. They were running to me because before I went to that conference, I actually had to have a conversation with Amway, and Amway had to tell me how I can and cannot talk about Elmo and Jackie to other people. Like they were literally coaching me on what to say and what not to say at the conferences because now it's been like 6 months since I've seen them. And so they're like, yeah, you can't say this. If people ask you like, why are you no longer working with Jackie and Elmo? Don't say what they really did to you. Just say it just did not work out and this was your decision. And like, this is what Amway does. They always try to protect their leaders, even when they're doing shady stuff. Amway knows what BWW is doing. Wow. Amway knows what Worldwide is doing. Amway knows that these people are sick, psychopathic, narcissistic, crazy ass people that are ruining people's lives, taking their money, ruining people's reputations and their self-image and their self-esteem. Like, they know that. And they are just hush, hush. As long as those leaders are bringing in money, as long as they're buying the products, and as long as they're saying a good name, they're going to protect them. So they literally called me to tell me how I'm supposed to act at this conference. Wow. So, of course, me being someone still afraid to let go of Amway and BWW, which is why my first step of exiting was going back to my original mentor. It wasn't like I just left. I went back. That was step one. It's going back to my original mentor and just seeing a new environment and seeing, because I still had a dream about going diamond. And in my way, I'm like, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to change the name of BWW. I'm going to be the first single female diamond. I'm going to show people how to do it right. Like, no, if you really believe that that's you, let me spare you 2 years, 10 years. It's not going to happen. These people will never change. They're way too stuck in their old ways, and it would just never happen. So Amway had to, prep me on how it was going to be. I didn't realize that people were going to run to me when they saw me. I thought that they said, Michelle's the devil. Don't ever talk to her. Like, whatever. No, nobody knew. And I was not allowed to say. Nobody knew why I left. They really thought that I quit. And they made it seem that I just left and that I quit and that I hurt Elmo and Jackie, and they couldn't believe that someone that's been with them for 10 years would just leave them like that. They didn't know. They did not know. So at this last conference, some word gets out that I was talking to people in my team and telling them all the nasty things about Jackie and Elmo, which is not true. And so I get called backstage to talk to Jackie and Elmo. Ray and Tamara were there, and also the diamonds. And I get verbally attacked by Jackie and Elmo. And they're just, I don't even remember because I blacked out and I could not believe that these people who were BWW diamonds, the example, the staple, the young couple that went diamond in 7 years, and they have an amazing reputation and they're such a lovely couple, and oh my gosh, they were cursing me out in front of people. People saw this, and people who went to FED 2019 in Maryland, y'all know, if y'all was around, y'all saw this couple attacked me like we were in World War III. And you stupid, and this, and I can't believe you. Watch, we know you're doing something behind our backs. We're going to come after you. Da, 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 da. We go backstage, again, more verbal attacks. And I'm literally trying to explain to the diamonds that what they're doing was not okay. And that this and that and blah, blah. And they just, when I do it, they'd be like, just make up. Can y'all just be friends? And I'm like, y'all really don't get it. Oh my, y'all. Done. Mm-hmm. And I remember leaving backstage, and the people in the front row, because there were qualifiers that you get to sit in the front row. I used to sit in the front row at the conferences. Everybody in the front row were platinums, my cross lines, people in my team. They see me come out of the backstage and they're just like staring at me and so afraid because Elmo is behind me. And then I remember I looked back at Elmo and I was like, you're going to regret this so bad. Ooh. And that was the last time I ever talked to them. That was the last time I ever saw them. And I thank God every single day that I do not associate myself with people like them. I'm so happy that they're not in my life. I'm so happy that I'm no longer there. And that was the last time I saw them. And then obviously the pandemic happened. So this was like September 2019. Mm-hmm. I was still in BWW. Obviously I was at that conference. My last conference was January 2020, and then the pandemic happened. And when I was quarantined for 6 months, girl, I started doing some research. And that's where I found videos very similar to yours. People started to speak up. Ray and Tamara also started to wake up a little bit as well. Mm-hmm. And so they actually connected me to emeralds that had just left BWW. And these were emeralds that I like looked up to. beyond words. Like, I'm not going to say their name because I think they're in the process of contractually finally leaving BWW. That's how big they were. They were like on a contract with them. So I finally get to talk to this couple, and I could not believe they left, but they helped me see from a different light of how BWW is 100% a cult. And they literally broke it down to me. They gave me all the behaviors of narcissistic leadership. And Elmo and Jackie fit every single one of them. They showed me they showed me occultish behaviors of a cultish group. BWW and what I went through checked off all the boxes. And I could not believe, after 10 years, this was May 2020, I had a 2-hour Zoom call with this couple, Ray and Tamara. And after 10 years, I finally realized that Michelle Garabito was indeed in a cult.
Oh my God.
It took me 10 years to finally realize that I was in a cult. And that's when I started to heal. And that's when I started to realize I never want to be a part of this ever again. So I unsubscribed from all the BWW apps. That was my exit right there. I unsubscribed. That was my last conference. I remember there was like a BWW meeting because everybody freaked out that everybody was quarantined and nobody could be at the malls contacting people and having meetings. So they were freaking out, and I was like, I literally fell asleep. I was like, I'm so done. Yeah, I'm over it. And that May 2020 was when I exited BWW, and that was Freedom Part 2 was when I finally left that. And of course, the grinder in me was like, well, what do I got to do next? So I'm literally trying to figure out how to still build my Amway business, but kind of like create my own like platform of how to create my own Amway business. And so that happened. We ended up creating a program called Authentic, where we were actually helping people build their own business, whether it was Amway or whether it was their own brand, on how to do it all online. And it went really well. We made like 20 grand our first year, all through social media. We helped 3 brands grow into a 6-figure business. And it was really awesome. We ended up letting that go because we realized midway that we didn't want to do anything with network marketing at all. And around the time where I left BWW, a lot of people that I respected and loved started coming out with videos and podcasts as to why they left. One of them being Paul Nelson, who's my boyfriend now, and who was a huge leader in Amway. Hugh Zhang, who was his mentor. He was an emerald in the business. And so many other people, and people were sending me these podcasts, and I was just reconnecting with friends and finally realizing that I was not crazy. And a couple months later, I filmed my video, and that went viral like crazy. So, oh my God, so many people reached out. Hey, even Amway reached out. They were pissed. Okay, they were like, why the hell are you doing this? And Amway Legal tried to contact me. I was like, I'm done with you guys. And then when Paul and I reconnected, we just got together, and I'll share about where we are now and like our life after. But that was my exit. It literally took me 3 steps. The third step was finally letting go of my Amway license. And that was really, really hard to let go of, because it was 10 years of blood, sweat, tears, giving up a lot of my 20s into this company that I really believed that I was going to hit the top of the top. And I mean, I reached pins that only 0.05% of people achieve. So I'm very grateful for that. But I really did believe that I was going to make it. And so I had different options of how I was going to leave Amway. My first option was to sell it. So my business was worth like $60,000, $70,000. I couldn't believe it was that little. And I knew that if I sold it to Jackie and Elmo, they would not pay that much, because I know that they don't have money. They make it seem like they don't, but we've created great wealth for ourselves. And I'm just like, man, people in Amway, BWW, if only they left. Like, there's so much more out there that they can see. So then I kind of lowballed my business, and Amway kind of like walked me through how I can sell it. At first, Ray and Tamara wanted it, but they wanted to do monthly payments on it, and Amway did not allow it. They were like, no, they have to pay it all in full. And I was like, well, not everybody's going to drop 20K like right now, you know? So then the next best option was to go to Jackie and Elmo. And I sent them the request of me selling my business to them. Since you're so obsessed with my business, you wanted to control every single person that was in my team that I personally recruited and groomed and mentored and helped and took care of and met their families and was a part of their upbringing in life and milestones of life. You're so obsessed. When I finally asked for money for what you wanted to control off of, they declined. And not only did they say, oh, we decline Michelle Garabito's request for $20,000 for her IBO number, they literally said, we declined the request of IBO number 568809. I can't forget my IBO number, 568809. And her request of selling her business for $20,000. They didn't even have the audacity to say my name.
Use your name.
Yeah, they just called me by my number. And then that's when I realized, after 10 years of me trying to be their best friend, 10 years of me proving to them that I was number one in their business, 10 years of me fighting and literally killing myself to become the best in their team. But by the end of the day, it was actually, oh my gosh, it's February 2021 was when I was like, you know what? It's not even worth it. $20,000 back then, $20,000 after leaving a business that you've been in for 10 years and you're collecting unemployment because I was furloughed because of COVID. Back then, $20,000 was a lot.
Yeah.
So then I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. So I was like, you know, what's more important, money or peace of mind?
Yes.
It was stuck between those things. And I remember I was dating Paul already. And he was like, Michelle, you're going to make $20,000 times 1,000 if you just believe in yourself and just know that peace of mind first and money will come later. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So I didn't even respond to their email. I just emailed Amway right away and was like, you know what? I would like to resign my IBO number and get rid of it completely. And I no longer wish to be a part of this business, this organization. I want nothing to do with you guys. And they were like, oh, we're so sorry that this is your decision. Is there anything we could do? I was like, no, I just want out.
Yeah.
I just want out. And February of 2021 was when that was step 3 of freedom. It took me 3 steps to finally remove myself. It was 3 steps. And that was the final step, was finally letting go of my Amway IBO number, an IBO number that I've held on for many, many years. And I spent so much time, and I had never felt so free leaving BWW and Amway like I did when I finally let that go. And it was extremely, it was really hard and it was very emotional. It was right after seeing the movie Harriet Tubman, the Harriet Tubman movie.
Oh, yeah, yes. So
The
good.
day before I let go of my Amway business, I watched that movie and I cried my eyes out because I really felt like Harriet Tubman when I was in Amway, like helping people, you know, like get out of the matrix and bringing them here. And then I realized that what I'm really doing is I'm freeing myself, and that I'm freeing more slaves that are in this industry and getting them out. And so that after that, I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm out. So yeah, that's my story of leaving.
Well, that is a roller coaster of emotion, of work, of mental, spiritual, physical, just kind of exhaust that you went through.
Yeah, and warfare. Oh my gosh.
That's the word, warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So I really am excited about what you're doing now with your life. You and Paul are doing some amazing things. So can you talk about what you're doing now and how kind of your work ethic translated from your Amway business to what you're doing now?
Oh my God. Yeah. So after I let go of my Amway business, Paul and I, we reconnected after I heard his podcast. A couple months later, you know, we decided we want to be together. And this is a relationship that was banned from us from the narcissistic leadership in the industry. Paul and I have always been meant together. We've been meant to be together since we first, you know, saw each other. And nothing and nobody could have stopped us. Like, this is a divine relationship. And so when we reconnected, and I let go of my Amway business, he was just like, let's just get out of here. And we started living our nomad journey, our nomad life. And we lived in Mexico in 2021 for the whole year. And we just started to live life. Like, for 10 years, I couldn't live my life at all. Like, I was just going to meetings and, you know, and showing the plan and going to malls. And it was just the worst. So we went to go live in Mexico to live. We were like, business, everybody, like,
Mm-hmm.
juices. I just like, I had no friends at this point. Like, I'm gone. So we
Wow.
started like snorkeling and skydiving and scuba diving and eating all the food like you can think of. Like, we were just living life. And while we were in Mexico, the hustler in me was still kind of concerned that I had just let go of a business that I built for 10 years, that I thought that was going to give me the financial freedom that I've been fighting for since I was 17 years old. So part of me was always trying to figure out other ways. So I got started in another MLM, girl. It was a credit repair business
Oh.
MLM. But I did it mainly through like a client, like I was actually building clients. So I was actually making money. Like I would make like $300-400 a week.
Oh,
And
good.
through there, I met like a lot of my clients were real estate agents. And so they were like, you would be so good in real estate. But I don't know. I was just like, I don't want to be an agent. Like there has to be another way to get into real estate. So I did that a little bit. I had my authentic business. I had a couple of fitness clients because I was still working out and stuff like that. And then around that time, I found this program where you can learn how to be an investor in real estate. And I was like, that sounds interesting. So I just started doing some research, but still part of my soul was like, I don't want no mentors. I don't want to be a part of no community, like none of that. So I knew though that because we were so new in real estate, we needed some type of guidance. So we got started in a program called Astro flipping, and it's a 6-week course that basically teaches you the ins and outs of real estate investing. So I did invest into that program. And we also hired a real estate coach. His name is Jamil. He's one of our best friends today. And we learned everything we needed to learn about real estate. And in 6 months, Paul and I built a 6-figure real estate company while living in Mexico. And it was the best, truly the best. We started to get known, within the real estate community, but Paul and I want nothing to do with recognition. We wanted nothing to do with like being leaders within the industry. Oh, no, we were just like, we're just here to make our money, and just live our life.
Yep.
Live our life. That's it. So that was the end of 2021. We built a 6-figure company. Last year, we crossed over $600,000 in profits in our real estate business. So we were so close to hitting $1 million, but we're going to do it this year. And so Paul was able to leave his corporate job almost a year ago. In April, it'll be a year. And he left his corporate job and created a 6-figure real estate company. So he has his own real estate business. I have my own real estate business. Okay. We basically invest in properties and we flip homes. We just finished flipping 2 homes in Colorado where we're going to make $300,000 each. Wow. In profit. And we also find like opportunities for some of our investor partners for them to flip homes, and we basically sell it to them for a fee. Sometimes it could be as little as 10,000 to as high as like 100,000. So we do like a handful of those every single month. And so we do that. We're in the process of creating so many different opportunities, but Paul and I really find ourselves to be what we call digital nomads, where we travel all over the world. We actually don't have a home. We just live in different homes everywhere that we want to live in that month. So right now, we're actually in Sedona, Arizona. We're living in a $2 million home for this week. And then we're going to go back to Gilbert. We're going to live in another, multi-million-dollar home there. And then after, we're going to Thailand. Then we're going to live in Thailand for a month. And then we're going to buy some properties here in Arizona that we can rent. We're going to build a home in Arizona. And so everything that people tell you, like, you will never be successful if it's not in Amway BWW. Like, if you leave, you will never be successful. I'm here to tell you that is the biggest that they have ever told people. There is so much success that came to us after we left Amway BWW. And I'm so grateful that even though the story sounds scary and horrible, I'm very grateful that I did spend 10 years in that industry. I wish it was a little bit less, but I'm still very grateful that I did, because I did learn a lot of skills. I know how to build teams now. Right. I know I have amazing people skills that I can actually use for good versus using it to recruit them. Right. I can actually get to know people for who they truly are versus trying to get to know them to recruit them in my business. I'm very good at public speaking. I've spoken in stages all over the world, and now we get paid to speak, which is really awesome. I'm very good at creating systems and processes to be able to hire the right people for our companies now. I know how to make money, so a lot of people see us, we got started in real estate. And so quickly we built a 6-figure company, but what they didn't see is that we planted seeds in Amway BWW for 10 years,
Yep.
and it just sprouted in real estate, and it sprouted in life. And it really goes to show you that Paul and I really were in the MLM business with good intentions, because it shows the fruits of our labor outside of it, that it really sprouted into something beautiful, because we did plant good seeds in there and it came out beautifully on the other side. So a lot of the skills that I learned in that industry, we put into our real estate companies. We have many other investment companies that we own. We're in the process of building another company where we're going to help people and teach them how to travel and how to be nomads. And we're going to teach them all that really fun stuff. So it's been an exciting journey, just being able to travel all over the world. That's what we do. We spend 2 months in our favorite place in the US, which right now is Arizona. And then we spend 1 month out of the country. And that's basically like our vibe. And we're so excited. Last year, we went to Maldives and Dubai, Italy, Mexico. We went to Greece. We went to Turkey. We went to Mexico a lot of times. We went to the Grand Canyon. We skydive over the beautiful beaches of Hawaii. We lived in Hawaii for 2 months, 3 months, I think. We skydive over the palms in Dubai. We ate all the spaghetti and pizza in Italy. We did the Santorini dress for our 2-year anniversary. We had the best olives and bread in Turkey. We've been to the most beautiful mosques in Abu Dhabi and in Turkey. And we go to Disney World every single year for Christmas. We started the new year in 2023 in a new country in Belize. We got to eat the best food. I took a month off from work and I was still able to produce income. And life is truly beautiful. And I always tell people that everything that I wanted to achieve in Amway, I achieved when I left. Wow. And it really goes to show that life is like freedom, and life is outside of it. They create the dream and the goal while you're in it. Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful, but it's really found outside of it. And when I put God in the center, my real God in the center of my life, and I surrendered everything that I was trying to control, and I just gave it up to him, and I just followed God's plans and God's, path for my life. That's how I've been able to live my dream life, is what I'm living today, which is really, really beautiful.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. And I'm excited that you shared that hope is not all lost when you leave. You can always.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So we got about a minute left. Anything else you want to say to the viewers or anything?
Well, I just really hope that this story encourages you guys that, if you're in and you're like, Michelle, you're crazy, like I'm living it, do it. Do it, give it your all to the very end. And if it affects your mental health, if it affects your physical health, and it affects your family and your life, then use the story and use the steps that I took to leave. But if you've left and also you find that you're struggling, trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces and create a life again, I always tell people, just go live your life, go live in another country, go do the things that they told you that you can never do, because you are not a diamond. Just go and live your life and let God provide financially for you in the right way. Let the path open up for you in a very organic way. You never have to force anything when it's truly meant to be. So I just hope that my story encourages people wherever it may fit. And I'm very excited to continue to share my story, and I will share this story until everybody is free, honestly. So I'm excited about that.
Michelle, thank you so very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you for your transparency, and maybe we can do a part 2 later.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Thank you, girl.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Michelle and as she shared everything that she went through. I've linked all her information below if you want to get in contact with her. She's given other interviews on different platforms about what she's gone through. And I just think that she's really brave and courageous for sharing everything that she went through, especially at such a high level that she got to. Please contact her at the information below. And again, thanks to everybody who's reached out to me, who's emailed me. anybody who has just, you know, shared their story with me, thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your courage. And I just appreciate you. If you want to file a complaint with the FTC, please do that. I have that link linked below. And if you want to email me with anything that you have questions, if you want to just vent and share your story, you can do that. And thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and have a great day.